What's up, champs? In this video, I wanted to make an updated video to go over the cost of how much it costs to start Amazon FBA, and a new video outlining everything. So there's a lot of gurus out there that just aren't giving you right information. And as you guys know on this channel, I always try to be real with you and go over things in a real way, like starting a business, how to actually do it, and the actual costs and everything like that. And I feel like there's just a lot of gurus out there that are giving you prices on how much to start Amazon, like it's $500 or $1,000, and it's just not realistic. So I wanted to make this quick video and show you guys step by step how much it costs for each individual thing to start your own private label Amazon FBA product. And also stay to the end. I have several tips I'm going to give you on mistakes that I've seen people make that have cost them a lot of money. Let's jump over to the computer and I'll show you the information right now. Okay guys, so I'm going to give you the real numbers on how much it costs to start Amazon FBA on the low side, and maybe a little bit more than that, so you're not fooled by all these fake gurus out there who are giving you BS numbers. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a product research software. It's nearly impossible to do it without a product research software, and it literally just saves you hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time. And unless you're an expert and been doing this for years, you really need to use a software. I mean, I use a software even without it. So I'm starting to recommend Helium 10 more and more and more to people in my Facebook group and my students only group, because they just have so much tools that they're kind of bundling together in their platinum plan. You don't need the platinum plan to start if you're on a really cheap budget. If you're on a really small budget, just go with their Helium 10 product research tool called Black Box. I think it's $37 a month. And I have a coupon code for you down below in the description that will get you 50% off your first month. So it brings it to like $19 or something like that. So I put $20 here to get started to get your Helium 10 product research. I have several videos on Helium 10 product research on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos, and you can go check out my other videos that are more in detail about Helium 10 product research, okay? And then with that, you're also going to need a Chrome extension to show you guys the sales numbers that the other competitors are making when you're looking at a product. So if you're looking at a garlic press, for example, you want to see what the other guys that are ranking on page 1 are making. Let me show you real quick. So I just did a quick search for a garlic press. Don't sell this item. It's way too oversaturated and way too competitive. But on the Google Chrome browser, you get the Helium 10 Chrome extension. And you actually can get this for free, but you get a certain amount of uses. Okay, so I ran the Helium 10 Chrome extension for this product. It's a garlic press. There's so much useful information that this Chrome extension goes on the Google Chrome browser shows you. So it shows you the search volume of this keyword, almost 39,000 searches per month. It shows you the category. It shows you all the products. These first two are the sponsored listings. They're paying for pay-per-click there. And you can just scroll over, and it just gives you all this information that you're going to need to know on all these products, like the revenue they're making. I mean, this product's making $89,000 per month, okay? Shows you their reviews right here. And again, this is way too competitive of a category. Don't try to sell this specific product, okay? But it shows you their reviews, their revenue, and all, you know, their size tier, all this stuff you're going to need to know. You pretty much can't do this without a Chrome extension. But the nice thing is this Chrome extension it's free. It gives you a certain amount of uses for free each month. And then once you have a Helium 10 paid plan, it becomes unlimited. And I'll put the link down for this below also. So the next thing you're going to need is a sample. And a lot of people that, you know, they're just watching YouTube videos, and, you know, they watched a bunch of videos, and if they didn't watch a video that mentioned about a sample, they could run into a real big problem. And if you go to order, say 300 units from a manufacturer and you don't order a sample, oh my God, you could run into so many problems. Like the quality could be terrible. I've ordered samples before that I got the actual item in my hand and it was just terrible. It could never be sold on Amazon. It was just a piece of junk, really cheap. And if you didn't know that ahead of time, you could literally waste thousands of dollars by buying 300 or 500 units of an item, and they're just crap. So you need to pay for a sample. Generally, I say they're about $50 to $75 for a sample when you're ordering it from Alibaba, from the manufacturer. That's just kind of what they charge you. And most of the manufacturers will actually refund that money to you if you do an order with them. So I put $50 here, but really that could be zero, because they could subtract $50 from the order if you actually place an order with them. So the next thing is a logo. You need to private label your product, and you can get a logo made on Fiverr for $5, or you could make it yourself. But I mean, you could go on Fiverr and spend $5 and get a logo made, no problem. The next thing you're going to need is a barcode, and there's a lot of ins and outs about barcodes that you kind of need to know. I go over it a bunch in my course. But really, you can get a barcode for $10, and you're going to need that to get your Amazon barcode, your Amazon FN SKU. But you need to pay the $10 at least to get the first barcode to kind of get that moving. So the next thing is, I recommend to my students that you get at least 300 units when you're private labeling a product to get started, because, you know, you really need that at the minimum, because you're going to pay money to get photography done. You're going to get your listing up there. You're going to have to get some, use some units to get some reviews. And then you're going to start selling. And really, this is including if you don't do a giveaway. Now, giveaways have changed a lot over the last year or so. And there's ways to do it. And a lot of the old methods don't work. But if you do a giveaway with the new method on how to do it, even if you give away 100 units, you're only going to have 200 left. And then if you start selling, say, 10 per day only, then you're only going to have 20 days worth of inventory. And a lot of times the manufacturer in China, they can take 2 to 4 weeks, 14 to 30 days just to make the product with your label on it. And then if you sea ship it, it can be 30 days or a little bit more to sea ship it. And you may, if you're running out of inventory, you may have to air express ship it, and that can cost you a lot more money, but you may need to do that if you don't run out. And if you order too few units, you'll run into those type of problems. So I recommend at least 300 units to get started, and $3 per unit is a nice, low, good sweet spot that you can do. I talk a lot about in my course how to find a product for $5 including shipping, and we're going to talk about that here, the shipping cost here in a second, and to how much profit you need to make it profitable and all that stuff. It's very obtainable to get a product for, say, $3 manufacturing cost or somewhere around there to get started. Then you're going to need to add the label onto your product. So most of the time the manufacturer will do that for you for free, and you can negotiate that a little bit and have them add your private label, your product company name or your logo onto the product or the box itself. Most of the time you can negotiate that to get that for free. Okay? But your package design, a lot of times you need to go over to Fiverr to get a custom package design if the manufacturer won't do it for you for free. And you can just jump over to Fiverr and pretty much get that done probably for around $50, okay? So the next thing that I recommend to a lot of students in my course is an inspection. And you can get an inspection done for $199. Now, when you're ordering a couple $1,000 worth of items or $1,000 worth of items, if you don't get an inspection, a lot of times some will come broken, some will be open. You know, the sample they sent you might be really nice, but you know, when you're ordering 300 to 500 units, sometimes there'll be 10% of those that will just be wrong. They'll be made wrong, or they'll be broken, or have something wrong with it. And an inspection can, you know, they'll go over all those units for you. And a lot of times you can then say, hey, 10% of these were wrong, I need you to replace them. And sometimes that kind of covers the cost of your inspection, because you're going to have them replace those units that weren't right. And also it's going to prevent you from getting one-star reviews, because if a customer gets a broken product from you or a product that's missing items, you're probably going to get a one-star review or at least a refund. And that's going to cost you money in the long run. So a lot of times an inspection can pay for itself. If you need an inspection or a shipping company, join my Amazon FBA Facebook group down below, and I can give you the recommended company that we use and our other members in our Facebook group use, and yeah, we can set you up with them at no cost. So the next thing is shipping, and there's a lot of complicated things about shipping. I go over this a lot in my course, but I also just had a 50-minute shipping video that I did on my YouTube channel. I'll link to that down below in the description. You can check that out after this video, and it goes over all the ins and outs of things you need to look out for and things you need to do when you're shipping your product from China, from the manufacturer to the Amazon warehouse. But for a lot of products that aren't oversized or really large, it's very common to get shipping for $2 a unit or less. So if you were ordering 300 units, that would be $600 at $2 a unit for 300 units. So the next thing is product photography, and you can try to do this yourself if you have a high quality camera and maybe a light box, or you're used to doing photography, you know how to do it, or you're good at photoshopping. You can try to do this yourself, but if you're not one of those type of people, you're going to need to spend some money on professional photography, because if your photography is bad, people won't buy your product. It's one of the most important things on your Amazon listing. People know generally within 10 seconds if they want to buy your product when they see it on Amazon. If they like it, they want it. If they don't like it, they won't buy it. And pictures are one of the main driving factors of this. So you need to get really good pictures on your listing, or else your listing could fail. So I have a discounted link for you down below if you need product photography. It's a $50 off link. So the final thing you're going to have to need is you're going to need an Amazon professional seller account. And Amazon charges $39 a month for that. And you pretty much can't go without it. Without that, you can't advertise on Amazon with their PPC, and they actually charge you like $1 per unit to sell it. So if you sold 40 units, you would pay the $40 anyway. So you pretty much just need that nowadays. It's almost non-negotiable. So if you add up all those costs, you're looking at $2,423 at the bare minimum to pretty much get your product started. Now, there are some products you could source for a little bit cheaper than that, but that's a good starting price to get started. Obviously, if you're going to order more units or a higher priced product, it will be even more than that. It could be $3,000 or $4,000. But I wanted to give you guys a real number so that you're not hearing this $500 or $1,000 and you think you can get started, and then you're going to need way more money than that. And really, you're going to need money for advertising and PPC also. So the next and very important thing I want to talk about is the cost of mistakes made versus the cost of a course. I see a lot of people do this, and if they had bought a course, then they really wouldn't have had these problems, and they would have saved thousands of dollars. Now, I have a link to my course down below in the description, but if you have somebody else that you trust more than me, go with their course. I'd rather see you buy a course, even if it's not mine, than make these mistakes and say Amazon doesn't work because you made one of these mistakes. And the first one is, I see so many people that have picked the wrong product and made mistakes when they're doing their product research. So the most common thing I see is that people pick the product in a way too competitive category. And they could spend $3,000 on this product and it's completely lost because they're in a competitive category that's just way too competitive. In fact, I just uploaded a video into my course that has a list of the top 100 products that are oversaturated and way too competitive for people to sell. And I see people selling things on this list all the time. So that one thing alone can save you. Also, I have another video in my course, for example. I have so many videos like this in my course that can save you from selling something you shouldn't. There's a recent pesticide issue that has certain words that you have in your Amazon listing, and Amazon will go ahead and their algorithm will classify your product as a pesticide, even though it has nothing to do with being a pesticide at all. And if you're not from the US and they classify you as a pesticide, Amazon won't even allow you to sell this product at all. Literally won't allow you to sell it at all. And people literally have to throw away their whole entire product because they didn't know about this. And my course goes over, I have over like 140 videos in my course that go over things like this, because if you run into this issue, it could literally ruin your entire product and cost you thousands of dollars. And these are things you can't look up on YouTube, because if you didn't know about the pesticide issue, just as an example, there's no way you could look that up, because you would never know about it. And that's one of the advantages of a course, is that it prepares you for all these things not to do and the things to do, and you just don't even know how to. I mean, yeah, you can go on you can go on YouTube and search for product research and stuff, but there's just so many things along the way, like saving on shipping, inspections, things not to do, like the pesticide issue. There's just so many things that if you didn't know about it, you could make a mistake and it could cost you your whole product. So the next thing I see on forums all the time, in fact, I just seen a guy in our Facebook group complaining about this, is that he said something like 99% of freight forwarders are out there just to rip you off, to take your money and not deliver the product, or hold your product ransom until they get more money. And I see this a lot. And that's why our group has a recommended freight forwarder that I've been using for over a year. And you can join our Facebook group too, and we'll put you in touch with them. It's one of the advantages of being in our Facebook group or our students only group. And they have literally helped out so many of our students in our Facebook group, and everybody's using them because they're not scamming people. And if a problem arises later on, everybody in the group would know about it, because we'd be talking about it, and we would hold them accountable or switch suppliers if they started to do us wrong. And so many people make this mistake because they just choose a random freight forwarder, and then that random freight forwarder ends up charging them $1,000 more than they originally quoted, because they're just not on the up and up. So that's another problem I see, and that can easily cost you $1,000 or more. So the next issue that I see people run into is that they buy too few of units and they run out of stock and they lose their listings. So what happens is that, they just want to dip their toe in the water. They didn't really get a course that walked them through this and how to do this and why you would do this and how many units to buy. And maybe they do a giveaway and they give away 100 units and then they run out of units right away because they start selling like hotcakes and they didn't have enough units. And what happens is when you go out of stock, you start to lose your ranking. So if you rank number 5, you start to lose your ranking every day. And there is one way to help prevent this that I go over in my course. And it's a big, long, detailed video. But the other thing is that a lot of people just don't know because they just don't order enough units, and they want to get started for $1,000, and then they end up doing good at the start, but then they lose all their rankings, and then when they reorder and they get their product in 60 days later, they've lost all their rankings, and they have to do another giveaway or jumpstart that listing again by doing another launch, and all that money they spent in the first product run is just kind of lost. So another huge, big reason that people waste money is they try to do Amazon PPC on their own. They're just kind of winging it and going off some YouTube videos. And YouTube videos, a lot of them, these gurus are just sensationalizing things, and they're just showing you their very best campaigns. And like my course alone has almost 30 videos on PPC, and a lot of them, of course, there's the how-to videos, how to do it, why to do it, but there's like several videos that is literally just me talking about the why and how things work, because the problem is people don't understand how PPC works, and if you don't understand it ahead of time, dollars and cents wise, and if it costs $1 per click, like how that actually works with your profit margins. If people don't understand how it works, their expectations aren't realistic and they're never going to make it, okay? And a lot of people have budgets. They want to always spend $20 or $30 a day. And the problem is they just end up running their PPC on way too many keywords and they never get any rankings, and stuff just doesn't work out because they did it wrong the entire way. So they end up losing thousands of dollars on PPC, and they don't even get rankings along the way because they just didn't know how to do it right. So that's the problem with just trying to wing it on your own. And again, a course can really help you here as long as it's an updated 2019 or 2020 course going into the future. If you don't have those things, you're just going to try to wing it on your own, and your chances of success are a lot lower than if you had somebody guiding you through it. And in my course, we have a students-only Facebook group, and I answer all your questions. So my videos cover a lot of the questions, but you're going to have questions along the way, and I'm actually there to answer your questions and help support you. And a lot of courses don't do that. A lot of courses, they already have thousands of members, and the course creator doesn't even give them support anymore, or he's just completely left the scene. He doesn't upload on YouTube anymore, and he's just completely moved on to other things, and they don't get any support. And that's what you get with my course. And as you can see here, a cost of a course can run you $500 to $1,000 or even more. There's a course out there that is $6,000, and I've seen it, and my course covers literally everything that their course covers, and probably even more because I'm updating my course all the time. And that course has thousands of members, and they spent $6,000. I think it used to be $5,000, but now it's $6,000. And they literally spent thousands of dollars more than they needed to, and they're not getting updated videos. So if you want to check out my course, there's a link down below in the description. If you have somebody else who you trust more than me to buy a course from, by all means, go ahead and do that. But I'd rather see you spend the money there than lose the money on all these different reasons I talked about. I see so many people pick a product that's way too competitive, and they just didn't know enough, and they end up their whole first product ends up being a complete loss, and that could have been saved if they just knew all the things we talked about here in the course. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. I'd be happy to answer them. And if not, make sure you guys subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new to the channel. Hitting the bell is very important, because if you don't, YouTube might not notify you of new upcoming videos, and you want to make sure you stay up to date on Amazon. It's very important. So that's it for this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one.